What's up, guys? We are back for another Wendigo wave figure review, and we're taking a look at one of the heavy hitters in this wave. Definitely one of the figures that I am most looking forward to, and that would be Mr. Sinister. This is a long time want for me, something that I've really been looking forward to and have just been dying to get my hands on him, so this is going to be a good one. We've got him here in our standard Legends packaging, as always. Figure in the window, X-Men logo down there on the bottom, artwork on the side and on the back, a little bit of a bio, and then you've got your Build-A-Figure and then our artwork lineup of the wave down there. So let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, Mr. Sinister, one of, if not my favorite X-Men villain outside of, well, Magneto. I'm a big fan of this character. I've been really looking forward to this one, and I think we got a pretty solid finished product here. They even snuck in a little bit of extra articulation, which was quite surprising. It's nothing major, but it's not normal either. So let's jump right in, take a look. Head can go backwards, goes down, rotate side to side, arms go out, rotate all the way around, bicep swivel. You've got your double jointed elbows, you've got hinges and rotation at the wrist. He goes forward at the crunch, backwards a little bit. You got rotation at the waist. Legs go all the way out. They kick forward and backward. You've got a thigh cut right here, double jointed knees. And then you've got actual ankle rotation down here, which is hidden by this kind of boot cuff piece here. So he rotates, he's got a complete cut right there, which is definitely a little bit of a difference. It's surprising. I wasn't expecting to see that, and I like the fact that it's hidden. It keeps the shin really clean and nice. And then you've got rocker and you've got hinges down at the ankle, and there's quite a bit of movement down there as well. So he is still pretty standard. The real difference is that he has that actual ankle rotation instead of, say, a shin swivel, and frankly I like this. I prefer it. I think it looks a little cleaner and it just makes the body flow a little more. There is really no exposed joints from the crotch down to the ankles, so I'm definitely a big fan of that. Now, when it comes to the looks, I think they've done a pretty good job of nailing this one too, and they've done what they do, and they've made his very normally shiny armor into that marbly metallic plastic, which I've said it a number of times I'm a big fan of. There is one thing on this figure that I don't really like. It definitely is a bonus when it comes to articulation, but it looks kind of funny. But for the most part, it's a pretty solid figure. I really don't have a lot of gripes here. We will do a comparison to some other figures here in a moment to take a look at kind of size, just to give you an idea of how beefy this guy is, because he is pretty big figure. He's not overwhelmingly large, but he definitely fits the bill for Sinister, I think. I really do like the color choices here for the marbly plastic. Very clean paint lines on the belt and on the jewel in the center. You've got his kind of thigh-high boot things here, which are sculpted nicely. They've, again, hide the articulation. You've got the boot covers that we talked about. And this kind of leads me to the point I don't like. I really don't like this. You can kind of see that weird ankle joint right there. It's just an odd look. It does work really well for articulation, so it's kind of a take it or leave it thing. It's kind of goofy looking because there's so much kind of a gap here, but it definitely works. So, you know, I guess I'm not going to harp on it too much because it definitely does what it needs to do. It just sort of looks funny if you happen to be looking right at it. He has a style pose hand over here on the left, fist on the right. He comes with no accessories, so what you see is what you get. Of course, you do have his very ridiculous and very much non-usable type of cape here. I still don't understand what this is supposed to be. It actually slots into his back and it is glued in place, but it works pretty well. It definitely adds a little weight to the backside, but it's not a hindrance or anything. It just, you kind of got to pay attention to it. And it basically drags on the ground, so it really will actually kind of support him a bit too. A lot of the little noodles are, kind of cut apart. They're not all connected, so they do have a little bit of depth to the figure. Red on the inside and then the navy blue on the outside. But the big thing for this figure, I mean, is clearly the face, because you got a sea of blue and a little bit of red here, and then you just have this creepy looking white face. And I think they did a really good job here. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I think this is a pretty solid Sinister look. You've got his little beard down there, the black lips, very nasty looking mouth full of teeth. A lot of line work on this face too. There is a ton of sculpted detail as far as kind of wrinkles and his jawline. And then of course you've got the ear, you've got the red for the eyes, the red for the jewel. Very clean when it comes to those black eyebrows. And then you've got his flat top haircut, which is really nice. Everything on the head sculpt for me works exceptionally well. I like the sculpt, I like the paint applications, and it just looks good, and it very much looks like Mr. Sinister. So for my money, that's exactly what I needed, and I got exactly that. And now for a size comparison real quick, here he is next to, I guess, the one figure that truly matters to me personally. Well, until we get that Havoc figure, we've got our Jim Lee Cyclops next to him, and you can see that he's decently taller. It's not a tremendous height difference. The cowl around his neck definitely kind of increases that a bit, but he's a lot beefier. This is a much larger figure than average, and it just kind of outclasses Cyclops in terms of just sheer bulk. So he's not a humongous figure. He's certainly not going to be taller than any of your Build-A-Figures. Well, unless we're talking Hitmonkey or something stupid like that. But for the most part, I think he definitely fits pretty well in terms of size. He has a lot of heft, a lot of bulk, and I think he scales pretty well. He's certainly not going to be perfect with a lot of figures, but I think he scales well enough to put into your X-Men display just fine. So overall, I would easily just say go out and buy this figure. It is going to be one of the highlights of this wave for sure. It definitely is for me. I think they did a really good job here. It's a bulky figure. He's got a really goofy cape that they translated into figure form pretty well. He's got a really fantastic head sculpt. Shoulder pads, the crazy boot, knee pads, thigh pads, things he has work really well. Ankle rotation instead of shin swivel, which is a really nice welcome change outside of the goofiness that goes on down there. But overall, it's a solid figure, and it's an X-Men villain that we absolutely needed. There's really no reason to pass this guy up unless you just don't like the character. Otherwise, I'd get him while you can. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Mr. Sinister figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.